the chancellor too as well, sparked some confusion. I want to just give some ramifications of how we got to the email first and foremost, with the clarifications in particular about whistles being on campus and what does that look like for us and how we plan to move forward. We want to be first clear. We have only one protocol should ICE come on campus. And that protocol we're going to go through together. It is our 5-step protocol, and we have been working on adjusting the language, working on adjusting the clarification to the point of we will start having, and we'll review here the draft that the comms committee, the comms team has went over, as well as the task forces went over just this morning, and we're going to move forward. Thank you. Maybe. Okay. Thank you. I'm reading a message from Dr. Howard. Oh, this session, which is different than all of our sessions in the past, has also been opened up to students. Normally we do just the faculty and staff session first this morning and then the student session in the afternoon, but we recognize the importance of this conversation, that we open it up for students, faculty, and staff in the morning session and in the afternoon session. So with that being said, I want to charge our community members, in particular our faculty and staff, that this conversation may trigger some of our students, some of our faculty and staff. So let's be mindful of what we bring into this space. Let's be mindful that we are never going to, my opinion, manifest ICE coming on our campus, because we have not seen that and we're not going to manifest it, but we're going to prepare for it should we need to. My name is DeAndre Fisher. Dr. Howard said, I guess I need to start with that first. For those who don't know, DeAndre Fisher, I serve in the role of stewarding the work of the Division for Access, Community, and Opportunity. Dr. Howard, you want to introduce yourself, and then we'll get going.
Thank you, DeAndre. DeAndre plays such an important role within our Salem Fox family. I want to make sure that specialized students know who he is and the role that he plays. I am Cedric Howard, and I serve in the district office responsible for student enrollment and effectiveness. I'm also the co-chair of the Federal Response Steering Committee, along with DeAndre.
Thank you so much. We have so many people. Once again, we don't do this work alone. So they have their check marks and we give gratitude and appreciation to them. So diving into, once again, the background of where we were going. Last week, we heard from community members that whistles were being put out in the state of Washington by an organization that is not affiliated with Seattle colleges. I would say the last debriefing that we had on the 20th of last week during Social Justice Week, community, it was a hard one. It was a hard one because what we heard from community members were one that impact us all. But we heard things like students were scared to come to campus. Uh, Faculty members for the last 2 weeks were not able to go over their regular curriculum because they had to address the fear and anxiety of what they're seeing across the nation. So that marked us to go into a spirit of reaction and protectiveness. In doing so, we went forth with saying that we within the ACL office would step up and create what we saw coming down the line, and that is whistles around the state of Washington and possibly on our college locations. So we decided to get ahead of this, and the way that we wanted to get ahead of it was create what is a whistle protocol in a 24-hour call line. What we were able to do after consulting with our colleagues who we really want to appreciate and say thank you for the grace and understanding, but then also the challenge of saying, did we then create more confusion and more chaos? And in doing so, I say yes. And in doing so, that means we're going to correct what that matter is. But I want to be very clear, the role of the office and the Division for Access, Community, and Opportunity is to disrupt the system. And we by no means take back the disruption of a system, because what it also has caused is that more folks are now watching and have an eye on what is the concern of many of our community members. So being a disruptor of the system will not be something that we will ever apologize for, but what we will do is say what we care about is the safety of all. Okay, so I just wanted to ensure that we're all on the same page of understanding the role of disrupting a system that now has caused us, as you can see, to have over 200 community members here with us because we care about our community. And we say thank you for entrusting us to care with you all, because we have to do it together as a community. So here we go now as we dive in. Yes, thank y'all for showing love. That means a lot. Y'all know we've been in this together for a year. This has been what a year. So as we go further, we want to now move into the importance of the protocol. We're going to answer questions to the best of our ability. I want to put it out there now. We may not have the answers right now, but please give us time to address those answers as best as possible in a later form, in a later communication too as well. So we'll get to as many questions. I want to open it up for questions to start going into the chat, because if you're like me, while you have a question, go ahead and put in the chat while you have it, and then we'll try to address them first. So with that being said, I want to just do a quick protocol of what is our ICE protocol for if we were to see ICE on campus, why we decided to pause as a community on a protocol for what is whistles on campus, is because I want to update you all on a few matters. Since we decided to roll that protocol out, like I said, we spoke to our colleagues, but then other things has happened. Many of you all may not be aware of what now is. I always say this, and I mean this wholeheartedly, is that we are fortunate to be in the state of Washington and to be in the city of Seattle. Legislation has passed thus far to where now ICE in particular officers are not being allowed not only to wear their mask in the state of Washington, but then also come on to college and community campuses too as well. So this was not in order before we made those decisions. So in all honesty, we do feel that we as the state of Washington, in particular the Seattle colleges community, will be able to say and have a stance that we will not see ICE on our campuses, because we know that it will be a bigger risk for them to come on our campuses than it is for them not to come on our campuses because of legislation. So I want to say that. We then also, within last week, I want to thank Kate from our team. We were able to meet with the mayor's office. I wanted to let you all know how quickly we're trying to meet. We were able to meet with the mayor's office and also speak to the mayor's office to figure out what they are doing. Many of you have access to Seattle Times, and we're able to see that also the Seattle Times have put out something from the mayor's office too as well. So we want to make sure, yeah, thank y'all. I'll keep putting it in the chat for us, just so everybody know we have the data to show why we're moving in the way that we're moving. So just wanted to say that it is working to become law. So it's being passed, and then it'll get to law. So as soon as we know, we're going to ensure that everybody knows this too as well. And we're looking to the guidance of our Attorney General too as well. Dr. Howard, did I miss anything on those matters?
No, I think it's important, especially for those who have not participated in our forums over the last year. We communicate in and we're very open and transparent as much as possible because we want to make sure that as a community you inform. And so when there is a decision made and an adjustment of that decision, that is in part because we have additional information that has afforded us opportunity to adjust. And so the whistle is a prime example where at the time we made a decision and ACO facilitated that decision, the information that we had led us to make a decision as a district. And now we've received additional information from not just the state, but also our local mayor that has forced us and afforded us opportunity to adjust that stance. And so keep that in mind. It is not, okay, we just want to change things because of some political persuasion or anything in that nature. We deal with facts. in the steering committee, and I just want to make sure that you're aware of that when you're evaluating and or communicating why things change as guidance from the district and the steering committee.
Thank you so much. And thank you to those who are responding in chat too as well. Thank you, Beth. And we'll get to all of these. Lorena, we'll get to, yes, as you can see, even on today, emails have went out to students. This is why it's so packed on today. And we also have another 150 plus that'll be coming to this afternoon because we open it up for students too as well. So more information after today will be shared with our community as well as emails and things of that nature. But because you all are here and we believe that the message moreover is shared more quickly when you are word of mouth. So I think it'll be shared quickly because you all are here and we'll go from there. So I'm going to share my screen once again, and just if you all have not had an opportunity, please take a look at our website that we have that talks about our protocol. And most importantly, what I think that we wanted to, in particular, our colleagues wanted to ensure that we share with you all what is the responsibility for you all as community members. We talk about having a 5-step protocol, but really the community's protocol is a 1-step, and that is first call security. That's your first priority. Your first priority is to call security. I want to state that again. Call security first and foremost. Okay, that's going to be number one. We've asked that you all screenshot what is the numbers. We're going to update. We heard from even Sean this morning to ensure that we're going to update this website, not to have the emails, but to have the phones, because we recognize if you need to email, are we going to respond as quickly with the email? But we also want to have emails for accessibility purposes. So do know we're trying to walk a thin line of how we get those communications out, but we want to ensure that you all knew that is the first one. And we'll make sure, what is the number for security? Yes, it depends on your campus. So I think these are students also asking these questions, and this is why students need to know. So it is going to depend on what college location you're at. And then you'll see we have it broken down to, if you're at Central, you have the broken down numbers too as well, even for our Health and Education Center, Maritime, Wood Technology, New Holly, Georgetown. So we have those numbers being sent to you all there too as well. Okay, if they meet along the streets. So, and let's dive into, I want to be clear, what we are providing is an update for if ICE is on our college location. What we also have provided to you all that you can go pick up at each of our campus locations in student services and ACO. We have made a while back what is a document that is on the website for you all to print out. So should you be off campus, we acknowledged that a year ago, and that is we wanted to provide you all with resources such as Northwest Immigration Right, resources such as your National Immigration Law Center. We have those resources for you. So if you're not on campus, what you can do as well. We tried to provide that for you, but once again, as a state entity, we cannot give you legal advice. But what we can do is give you protections that we feel that our students have asked for in that manner. Dr. Howard, did I read that right?
No, you're absolutely correct. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Go to the website. DeAndre is sharing with you now. We ask that you screenshot it. We ask that you use the QR codes because it is site specific and it is providing resources for you within the community. There's a question about district. We would say that part of your interactions at district is, you can contact campus safety at Central, but as well as DeAndre and I, because we will be at district in order to support you. So just make sure that you kind of govern yourself according to those expectations and protocol. But here's resources you may have or may be aware of. And if you're not, please take heed and put this information either in your phone or close to you so you can have access to it.
Absolutely. Jessica, you are correct. We are updating this PowerPoint of this PDF because unfortunately we have had members, of course, leave our community, and we've had some new members join our community. For an example, at Central, Dr. Johnny Woods was on here and not here with us, but we are fortunate now to have Lakeisha, for example. So we do have some updates that we do need to make, and we thank you all for the grace to give us that to make. So we'll make those, and we'll ensure that new PDFs are available. What has also come up is, DeAndre, we just want to see on campus what is directly some flyers that we can see, that we can have in the classrooms and on our college campus. I want to be clear that this is just a draft. This is just a draft. We literally are reviewing this right now. The task force has come up and as well are reviewing this, and it will be reviewed at the college campuses and at the president's cabinets too as well. But we wanted to at least show you that we're working on what will be put around our campuses in big posters, and as well as small posters that we will walk around next week to start putting these out there on in the classrooms too as well. So that is, once again, the 5-step of notifying what is a college, what is your campus safety security offices. Why is it important that you now look around the Zoom room and know who your college designees are? Those folks are now trained and able to go into a space, should we have, which we're believing that we're not now, the legislation is being passed and we understand what is happening, but should we have that, the college designees will then come to that area to then help with that understanding of what is happening, either diffusing the situation, even more so of going into a shelter in place if we need to go into that space. So that's why we need for everyone to understand that we have a protocol to really help the situation should we need the situation. Who is college designees? Faculty, staff, administrators. We have a wide range. Next is going to be, our students have asked, can they be trained to be a college designee? And we're looking into what that looks like for the safety of them first, and as well as what does that look like for us all. When we asked the AG, the only thing that we have right now is if a college designee has to be paid by the college to be official college designee, and the only way we know for that to be true is student workers, for example. But we want to make sure their comfortability level and they have been trained. So we do not have a word on that yet, but we are looking into that, and we just wanted to make sure you all knew that too as well. I'm going to pause. We've been talking quite a bit. I want to get through some of the questions that we may have, and then I also want to show what is another flyer before I get into some of the questions. Once again, we'll update this, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to pause just for a moment, stop sharing, and let's go through some of what we see happening in the chat. And for those who want to unmute, please start raising your hand, and let's start going through what's in the chat. ACO, do we have some questions in the chat?
And I would encourage everyone to put your questions in the chat, because if we don't have time to respond as a part of this forum, we'll make sure to respond to your questions later. So if you can please make sure you put all your questions in the chat so that we can respond either as a part of this forum or a later time and date.
Okay. So as questions are coming in, some matters that were asked about during our last forum was the Seattle colleges community coming together to how do we support one another when we hear things like we have community members who do not feel safe coming to campus by themselves. Can we create a buddy system, for an example? Those are things we're still looking into. We're still looking at what that would look like. Of course, that would be volunteer work. If you're interested to walk someone to campus, walk someone to their classes, things of that nature, that is community work. And that is something that we're excited that the community have asked for. We also received word that some community members may want to volunteer to help deliver different essential items to community members around the community. That, once again, is volunteer work, and we're excited that that is even coming up too as well. We also want to acknowledge that we are at the final stages of what is our public versus non-public spacing and the signages of where we are going to be looking at that. We just reviewed this morning, and we want to thank Lorena for coming in. I don't know, Lorena, if you have anything that you want to share, but we are excited about that work being done. We know a lot of folks have asked, what do we do? So, Lorene, if you have anything you want to share, and we'll be able to release that later, but I want to turn the floor over to you if you have anything that you want to share.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're
Thank
really
you.
defining public versus non-public spaces, and the committee members, we are getting some signage out for folks. We're looking at if there's an open space that's used for a temporary event, what rights we have. Really, the big takeaways is we do have a lot of non-public spaces. We do have a lot of public spaces, and we have to be really careful how we designate it. If we over-designate public areas, it really takes away our legal recourse if it's ever needed. So just let you know, we are looking at that. We are looking at all the theories around that. The committee has some great locations, really down to the detail and granular level of how we can protect each other. So if you think of something, if you see something come out on public versus non-public and you have some questions, please I'll drop my email over here in the chat. Please let me know. And I'm always happy to work with our community.
So more to come on that, and thank you for your leadership and guidance. I will state we did have a question about if the local SPD are being regularly communicated with. Also in the note that the new mayor has sent out has specifically said what she expects of how SPD is communicating with the local immigration enforcement should that happen. She has been very clear when we met with the department too as well, where her stance is, and that is they are suggesting that the SPD does not also utilize any of their state resources to support immigration at any level. So they are being communicated with very directly, and I'll leave that more specifics to any of our leadership that is from safety and security, should they want to respond any more than what I've stated to as well. Okay. More questions are coming toward the forefront, so we'll get to some of those questions. Jared, I see you have questions, and then Reed or ACL, y'all start helping me announce names because I don't know whose hands are going up first. So let's go.
If navigators could support that, that'd be.
Thank you, navigators.
May I please step into and share that a lot of these questions will be answered in trainings. I have set up trainings for every division in academic affairs at North, as well as student services, and have trained Kiana and Kano at South. We're going to be continuing to do trainings for people. On February 3rd, which is also my birthday, we'll have a student town hall in the Grove at North, where we will answer all student questions one-on-one too, because I know that not everybody feels comfortable doing this online, which is totally fine. I am also working to train up some more trainers because demand is very high. I want to share that there's no way we can guarantee anything because that question is coming up a lot, but we are trying to provide as much stabilization and planning as possible. So even if someone was taken, there will be steps to happen afterwards. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Come on.
Bernadette has her hand raised.
Okay, Bernadette, come on in.
Yes. Hello. Thank you for holding this. I asked a question at one of the last sessions about the follow-up with the Seattle police and the mayor about what happened here on our campus in South, about police coming in unmarked cars with masks, drawing guns. The response I got was they had a warrant. So what that they had a warrant?
Yeah.
Does that mean that they wear masks, that they're in unmarked cars, that they just start pointing guns at anybody standing at the bus stop? What was you're talking about a lot of things that you're going to do, plans you have in place. This happened. What was the follow-up?
You know, Bernadette, I'll take full responsibility of needing to follow up with the South President's Cabinet on that. So if you wouldn't mind for me to just at least look into that and just see if we can get some follow-up in particular at South in that incident. And once again, we thank you for bringing that, because you are correct. That did happen, and we don't want to have an oversight on that. So outside of that being from ICE, you are correct. We need to figure out what the follow-up is moving forward. So
well, I don't think you're going to get the Seattle police, I'm sorry to interrupt, to be very, I mean, they're still smarting from the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah.
So as for them protecting us from ICE or following any politicals, I would be very surprised, especially given what they just did. That's a message. I got the message that they were sending. I'm wondering if the colleges, the administrators got the message.
We got the message, and we actually have a follow-up meeting with the mayor's office next month. So we'll be sure. Kate, let's make a note. That was I did not bring that up in our first meeting, but let's make a note in next month's meeting that we actually bring that up, and to Bernadette's point, ask what is being done. So more to come on that, Bernadette. We'll make sure to follow up as soon as we get it. Jared, come on in.
Yes, absolutely. And I apologize in advance if I've missed any answers to these questions as I'm flipping back and forth. If a student or staff is picked up by ICE on campus, how will the colleges follow up with that person, and what will they do?
Absolutely. So let's answer all of those questions about that at one time, and that is going to be this. At this moment, I think when we talked about our last meeting, it was, would we be willing to be in a space of, if we were to see that happening, ask the student for a contact number to contact someone on their behalf. I think that is one that we're looking into, seeing if our AAG is allowed for us to do that in doing so. And I also want to state, I stated in this morning during the task force, because we will spiral in the what ifs. I want to be very clear. We will. And I'm glad that we have a lot of what ifs. And Lorena, did you hold your hand to help answer this one? Come on in. I'll pause on my what if.
Federally, we have no rights. If a student doesn't have a FERPA form on file, I am working with student services on that to encourage students, right? Because we can do a release form, and limit the information that's given for emergency situations. I know there's nuances around that, but it's all about FERPA, and we're federally required to oblige by it. So I think that one of our moving goals is we need to encourage that, promote that for our students. I am working with our AAG's office on some elements of that for student travel and such. So we hope to have more information. But what you can do today is encourage them to do a release of information on our FERPA form and student services. Brianne Sanchez, you know I'm in compliance, not student services, but that's the best we can do today. And we are working on, because that's federal law. So Brianne, do you have anything around that?
I don't have anything more to add. We've provided some sample information, but based on federal FERPA, and I think more conversations needed, but
that's a challenge for student services, to get that information, encourage it to happen and during these times.
I also want to share that we have resources available for free legal guidance and such too, included on the Federal Fridays and Federal Response web pages, because that's come up a lot. We have had one instance where we've helped someone get some free legal counsel, and we've been checking on their family regularly.
Thank you so much. Okay, come on in, Charlotte.
Yeah, hi everyone. Before I say anything, is this meeting recorded, DeAndre?
It is not. Okay.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I want to say that I appreciate the response that the district is taking. I'm actually really pleased with the evolution of the responses that y'all are doing. And also I'm seeing a lot of questions in the chat. And I want to say that as someone who is a tenured faculty member and not an administrator, there is limitations to what the college can protect us from. And what is legal and what is right may not be the same thing under a fascist regime. You have to decide what you are willing to do. The administration cannot protect you legally from doing things that are right but are not legal. That is up to you to decide what your risk is and what you're willing to do to protect your community. The administration will not come to save you, and it's not their fault. That is just the system that we're in. And when we're operating under a fascist regime, that is what happens. So I just wanted to say that because, again, I appreciate the work of this task force. Go to the local community trainings that are being done to understand what your risk is and what you can do to help your community. Thank you.
Right, that was done by tenure faculty member, so I want to make sure. Yeah, okay. Yes, you are correct, and that's exactly where I think you said it better than I could have said it. And I think everybody needs to hear that and hear that clearly. And that's where I was going at this moment. Like I said earlier, we all agreed it is a fight or flight situation. We all believe that we will be in that space to where we will stand up and do everything. But until you are in that situation, you have to do what is best for the safety of yourself and the community. So thank you, Charlotte, for bringing that in. Come on in, Jared.
Absolutely. Jill responded to this person specifically, but
Okay, if
I
Jill
think it might,
responded, let's let Jill respond and let's go.
I think it might be
time. Go ahead, Jill.
worthwhile
Okay.
to ask for in general, to generalize it. If there, does the college have any guidance or suggestions for us to protect our students at a public event?
A public event that we're hosting?
Yes, at the colleges.
Okay, I think that goes back to what we've been talking about this whole time. We're giving as many suggestions as possible. What we ACO, and thank you, Jared and Carlos and many of our team, we have, I don't want to put on other departments, but for instance, during Social Justice Week, during MLK, our department has created for every event, every form that we have that's in person, we have a shelter in place protocol, and we know exactly where all doors are located, all exits are located, where our shelter in place room is. So I would encourage departments and folks who are having these public events. Good call, Jared. Come on. We have that. And if you all would like to see what our department has put in place, we would love to share that with you. Once again, it's not a requirement, but that's something that we take very seriously, that we do a walkthrough before every one of our events, that even at MLK, and we announced it too, to say if you are needed, here are the people who you contact and go to in the space as it's a public event. So we've done that, and we will continue to do that until we feel that the community does not want us to do that anymore. So that could be a suggestion. What else, Jared? And more in the chat.
There's some questions about, there's been some recurring questions about transcripts and if any of how we are if the chat will be available.
Yeah. So how we plan to do it is that we will follow up with, once again, some of the documents that we kind of shared. We'll kind of put all of this into what we feel comfortable with sharing. But I also know that this community understands, just because of how supportive you all have been for these forums, and particularly for ACO. I have not felt since day one comfortable recording this conversation. As many of you who know the work understand why my safety also has been jeopardized and threats have been coming. So I do not feel safe. I believe everybody has good and will intent, but I would be remiss to say that has not been the case thus far. So encourage folks to come to these if you can. That's the best way we know how to share the information, and to also look at our website at this moment. And then I want to state, we're open to come to classrooms. Many of the faculty members, read how many we've done. A handful of going to your actual classrooms or your departmental meetings to actually share this information too. We would love to do that if you want to take us up on that offer. Okay. Thank you for asking. No. Any other questions And then, as you all know, if this is your first time, we're leading down to the last 20 minutes. I also open it up for community to tell us what's going on in the community. We are aware of some demonstrations happening on today that is in honor of our nurses and medical field professions, and we commend you all and we say please be safe, but we honor that you are using your voice. And sorry we could not reschedule on today, but we was asked could we reschedule because some folks were out doing that, and we said sorry, but we're there with you in spirit. So anything else going on in the community that we should be aware of, or what are you hearing from the community? This is a perfect time to let us know what you're hearing, any concerns that we maybe need to address, and any feedback. Yeah, we can't do it alone. We got to do it as a community. So what can we do together? This is the time to make any announcements from faculty, any announcements from staff, any announcements from community members. If you have those, please raise your hand and we'll love to hear any announcements. We'll pause for a moment.
Hey, DeAndre, I do want to share something out, given that this came up in our Students of Color Conference Council. There's worry around travel as well, and maybe that's a travel department question, given that there has been DACA recipients detained in airports. So I think that's also something to be highlighted and talked about, as we know that we send off some of our students to conferences and so forth.
I see Lorraine. Carlos,
Yes.
do you feel comfortable stating? I saw the email go out about the update for Student of Color Conference. This may be a good time to just state it. As it moves, you want to state what's happening?
Yeah, so for folks who are not familiar with this council, it's the Multicultural Student Services Director Council, I believe that's what it stands for. So it's a statewide council. We co-plan Students of Color Conference, but because of everything that's been going on, there's fear of the impact that it might have on our students and the target that it will put on that. But then it also made me think about student travel in general and how we're handling that as a district. But yeah, that's what's been going on, updates on Students of Color Conference. So instead, we're moving virtual.
I think that was the biggest piece I wanted to announce is it has been moved virtually. So we will be able to have the Student of Color Conference, but it has been moved virtually, and that is amazing that they're taking safety. But Lorraine, I remember you talking about just the travel piece. Come on in.
I just found out, I believe it was like yesterday from OSAR, amazing director of security at North, that there's some travel action in February. I did some research. I put some forms together. It's literally on the desk of our AAG to get approved. It's going to go back to FERPA, people. It's going to go back to FERPA, right? So as soon as I can get this vetted by our AAGs, I'm going to send it to the student services and DeAndre, of course, and get some quick turnarounds on that. I did put a red alert on our AAG, and they are looking at it. Probably literally as we speak. So again, we can't do anything about ICE, right? But maybe if it does happen, that's what we're looking at. And again, right now, all my research is going back to FERPA. I hope to have something out to y'all soon.
Lorraine, Tina is asking you to elaborate more on FERPA.
I can't do verbatim, but I know like there's certain nuances, and if somebody in student services where this is literally their wheelhouse, that would be great. We're obligated that we can't release certain like public records and information around that. I know there's nuances around emergencies. I'm not sure if being retained by legal authorities falls underneath that category. Brand, I see that you turned your camera on. Do you want to speak more to the FERPA on this issue?
No, I'll let you continue and add any additional insight, but
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. It's very nuanced, but basically, generally speaking, we have to protect the students' rights to their information. We can't say that they go to our school without subpoenas, warrants, all that fun stuff, right? They're not members of our school. We have to do everything to protect them. So we're legally obligated, and I heard what somebody said earlier, right? But we are legally obligated not to disclose, and it's really for the students' protection. In my history of, being in schools, we've had people who are abusers or whatever who come to the school looking for their spouses, and we have to deny it. And on the other side, we said, my daughter, son, whatever is missing, and are they here? So it's on both sides, but it's really to protect our students who are 18 and over, right? So Tina, around this, hi Tina. So around this, we have to see or get some type of legal documentation. So if our students travel and they're in Florida, which I believe is going to be happening, and they get detained by whatever authority, we all know which one, how can we notify their emergency contacts? It doesn't have to be a family member, it's just whoever they designate as emergency contact. The form I'm looking at, and again, it's not been vetted, is like maybe we do a time frame. Just, I don't want my friend to know all about me or be contacted, but maybe in that time frame of their travel, that's what we're looking at.
Thank you for that. And the website and more to learn about FERPA is also in the chat too. Come on in, Jared.
Got two questions here. And I also just want to say, if you want to pose any questions anonymously, feel free to message me directly in the chat. Is there a way to find out if a student suddenly disappears if they were taken by ICE? Do we have a wellness check protocol, or is the college able to do wellness checks to see if students have been taken by ICE?
That's a great question. We have to look into that. I cannot provide an answer on that, so I don't want to provide any guidance.
I would share that we have care team protocols on each of the campuses, and if someone is missing or you're concerned about their well-being, there is a process online to go ahead and submit a ticket. They do wellness checks for other issues.
Thank you.
Then there is a follow-up here. Will the college be granting withdrawal exception / tuition refund / support for faculty to give incompletes if they miss class due to either ICE activity or, more importantly, detention?
At this moment, there is absolutely no protocol on that, but I do know that the state board is working with the equity officers, and Bellevue is actually leading that charge. So as soon as we know more, then we'll be able to pronounce what that looks like. So thank you for that. I do want to, any other questions? I do want to announce, I see in the chat a flyer, but I want to address that too. Any other questions, Jared? We're good.
Yes, there's one more.
Okay.
Have there been any conversations about providing de-escalation training for faculty and staff? And I think to add on to this question, is this included in our existing ICE preparedness trainings? They say, i.e., how to respond and encourage nonviolent resistance if there is a contact with ICE or any individual in that space.
Absolutely. Great question. I would say if you in particular want to have those trainings, please reach out to the ACO office and we'll get you connected, with Jill and others to help with that. All ACO members have been trained, and I know many of our student affairs colleagues have been trained, as this is their professions, to de-escalate situations. And yes, that is the prime example of why we want you all to know that the college designees are prepared and ready to go. Okay, good question. Thank you so much. I want to be mindful of the time. We're getting closer, so let's come on in, Ari. You have a question, and then I'm gonna state something.
Yes, good morning. Thank you. Thank you so
morning.
much. Before anything, for providing this forum to talk about this. I am with the nursing program. I'm their student support program specialist. And the nursing program does have particular challenges because we are spread out throughout the 3 different campuses, not being in the main BE campus, but we're at the Pacific Towers in Beacon Hill. So I do understand that maybe the policies might be a little bit different about how to approach an incident that might happen at the Pacific Towers. They do have their own security guards there. And so I was wondering if you might be able to provide a little bit more clarity as to what that might mean for us. And then I have a follow-up question after that.
Yeah, really quickly, we brought this up this morning. Dr. Beloved brought it up in particular for our task force. So what we plan to do is we actually want to meet with you all and Dr. Pat to ensure that we meet with security, because I think it's going to be important, although they're not Seattle College's security. I know Sean and many others, we want to ensure that they know the importance of safety for our students too. So we'll conduct a meeting here pretty soon, and we'll be sure that you are involved and know what is happening. Okay, so we want to hear from you all, but thank you. And what's your next question? So
Thank you for that answer.
Mhm.
The other question is regarding our student safety when they're outside of campus. We do send our students to clinical sites, to hospitals in Seattle and the surrounding area in Everett and Tacoma. And one of my main worries for the students is that, well, things can happen while they're traveling to these sites. And although there has not been any confirmed reports that ICE has been raiding hospitals, historically it has been happening, and we have seen it. I think we began seeing it in Southern California, so it won't be a surprise if it happens up here too. In those situations, whenever we have students at these clinical sites, we always tell them, report first to your clinical site instructor, because we do have a chain of command. But in those cases, is there any more type of guidance that we should refer to?
No, I want to say thank you. I think this is when we open up the last the last few minutes of our conversation is for this right here. I want to say we do not have a response to that. I'm going to officially say that, but I am going to officially say that we will look into that. This is a prime example of what it looks like. I think that goes back to Lorraine saying that is not just travel in general outside of the state, but that's also travel within the state too as well. So let us look into that. And you brought up a very, very good point of how do we protect even our students who are doing clinical sites, and as well as even those students who are in our technical field at Georgetown, for example, that have to be on the work site. So let us look into that if you don't mind.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Great points. Any other updates from community members? This is the time that we want to hear from you. Any worries, concerns, or any silver linings, brightness of joys that you hear in the community. I want to state, as you all are thinking that and can come on, once again, you all have the right to, and when we support you all being out and being in demonstrations and using your voice. But we have noticed that many of these demonstrations in particular have been centered saying that they are at Seattle Central. I want to be clear that these are not sponsored by Seattle Central College. Although we know the history and the deep roots that Seattle Central College has been what is the center point of activism. And that I believe our chancellor and our president would not want that to change, because that is the history of Seattle colleges at Central. But I do want to state that these are not official Seattle colleges events, and we ask that you all be as safe as possible, be vigilant. Everybody in those demonstrations in the past and in the future, be mindful that everybody's not there for your safety. So please keep your head on a swivel. Dr. J, come on in. You have something for us? Okay, I think she may have unmuted on accident. But yes, don't mind sharing it, but just want to say, please, y'all be safe out there.
Deborah and Larry had the hands up.
Oh, thank you. Come on, Deborah, Larry. When you all get a chance, come on into the space. No worries, they're probably trying to unmute. All right, come on in again.
Thank you. Earlier this week, I believe I attended a security meeting just so we can discuss what the security matters are in place. And I found out that our security teams, they're working with skeleton crews given the budgetary cuts. And my question to them was,
Ari, one second. Was for clarification, what security meeting and when? Because I'm not.
I would have to look back on what it was, but it was just essentially just talking with security personnel and how is it that they're going to be reacting to ICE coming into campus. And I had told them, well, there's different points of entry on campus, and you're telling me that our security team is supposed to meet with ICE personnel if they were to show up, but you're also working under a skeleton crew, and there's multiple points of entry at the same time. So you would be relying on people to report to you that they are on campus. But given that I have been on the BE campus and I don't necessarily have the my badge will not open up certain doors, I'm guessing that they will have to be funneled through the prime entrance in the BE building. At that point, is there some sort of alarm that's going to be put out overhead for people to know that they have to close the doors and create those private spaces? Because as I mentioned to them, you're telling us these private spaces are defined by closed doors, maybe locked doors. But that is a very hard thing for us to navigate because that does interrupt our workflow and it does discourage our students from even seeking help that has nothing to do with the government at this time. This is a personal student everyday matters.
Yeah, I thank you for bringing that up. And once again, I want to state a comment that what we believe, if nothing else, the email from our chancellor really caused what is a disruption in our community, in our regular processes. And one of those disruptions is to ensure that all of our EAP, emergency action plans, and the red books are updated for every college location. We're working on that. So this is going to be one that we should already have some structure in place when it comes to lockdown and shelter in place, that I know our security are working very, very hard, as you can imagine, during these times, that all of the lockdowns and procedures that they have to work through. So, Ari, I want to say, keep pressing, keep sending things. I'll meet with you personally to go over some of the things you talked about. But once again, the disruption that it's caused is now everybody needs to make sure we all are on and updated for all of our protocols. So we're working on a lot.
Thank you.
Hey, Larry. Hey, how y'all doing?
We had our audio off, so that's why you didn't hear it.
Okay. Come on in. Y'all have a question?
Well, I think I would like to discuss it more with Larry before I bring it up.
I understand. And then note that you can also, after y'all discuss, if you want to reach out to any of us who have a green check mark or the ACO team, we'll be happy to meet with you all personally to have that discussion too.
Okay.
Okay. Thank y'all so much for being here with us. We appreciate it. Okay. As we get to the last 3 minutes of our time, we would ask and encourage you all, if you found this to be helpful, please let us know so we can continue these. Please share. We have make sure, Reed, if you don't mind putting when the next ones are, just so everybody will know. But on our website, there you'll have the whole list. We have a list of when they are scheduled and planned all the way to April, and we're getting the rest till June. So we want to make sure, please bring your classes. Please ensure that, Donna, come on in. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Thanks, DeAndre, and thank you all for your work behind this. I just want to highlight and appreciate Bernadette for sharing the flyer for the rally tomorrow, and echo that we recognize not everyone can protest or feel comfortable in that space. So I just want to encourage folks to stand in other ways. I think folks are aware that today is a national strike in support of our community in Minneapolis. So if you can divest from companies who are actively providing data to ICE and funding ICE, like Amazon, Microsoft, Target, Starbucks, and I mean, I hope as an institution we can continue to divest from those companies, but as individual action, I definitely encourage everyone to think about that, to not spend today if you're able. And I just want to leave that with that. There are so many ways we can stand in solidarity with others.
Thank you, Donna, and great reminder of how we utilize our voice on behalf of other communities, and not just be an ally, but be a co-conspirator in the work with each other. Quick note too, we did go through any of our partnerships a couple of years back, and we do not have official partnerships with some of the companies in which you have named. So thank you. We're trying to do the best as an institution too as well. Okay. Anything else as we wrap up this conversation, and we will see another half of our community at what time again today? I believe at the 12:30 hour.
At 12.
At the noon hour. Okay. So, all right. Peace and blessings, community. Thank you. Hopefully this cleared up a lot of confusion, but we are here together. And we need each and every one of you all. So let's be together in this. Okay, Larry, down to see y'all saying peace, so you got a question. Peace. I can't tell you. Peace. Good to see you all. Thank you. Thank you, community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All righty. Okay.